Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I have a story time for you guys today. And now my story time has a very valuable lesson in it, so it's very important that you listen to the end. And we're going to be going over exactly why follow-up campaigns are so important in any land flipping business. And that doesn't depend on just any marketing channel, whether you're emailing, texting, mailing, cold calling. Following up is where the real money is made, and to put it simply, if you are not doing it, your competition is, and they are going to be way more successful than you. So in this story time, I'm essentially just going to be walking you guys through a 3-part campaign where we had essentially sniped a subdivision that we really liked in a specific county, and we essentially got 200 leads out of that subdivision. And so with 200 leads, we sent 200 letters to the landowners, and essentially in our first campaign we got 2 deals, and so we thought the subdivision was a gold mine. We went back again for a second follow-up campaign. We ended up getting 0 deals, and despite getting 0 deals in the second campaign, we decided to mail one more time. We weren't very hopeful considering we didn't really get any responses the second time around, but the third campaign we ended up getting 4 unique properties under contract from 3 different sellers, and according to our analysis, we're expecting to get about $35,000 in profit once we sell all of those properties. So let's dive into the setup for the first mail campaign. So we picked a subdivision in a county that we thought was good. It was a couple counties removed from the main city of Dallas, and so we thought it was perfect proximity for what we like doing in our business. And we've never done a deal in this county. We just happened to like the subdivision, and we like the restrictions, so we thought we would do a mail campaign and see how it went. And like I said before, after we pulled our list of leads, we got about 200 leads from it. So there goes 200 mailers. We pretty much mailed the entire subdivision. It's nothing crazy, just a typical subdivision sniping approach. And from that first batch of mailers, we ended up getting 2 deals under contract. We ended up selling them for very good results. So we kind of thought that we had found a gold mine. And generally 2 deals in 200 mailers is such a good conversion rate. Generally we expect a deal around every 400 mailers, so, or just 400 outreach in general. That's kind of what we expect. And so right away we thought this county is a gold mine. I don't know if no one's ever hit it before or what the deal was, but we ended up making a lot of money. Off of those 2 deals, we ended up making about $30,000. So we thought it was a gold mine. We decided to go back and do a follow-up campaign about a month and a half or 2 months later. And so before I get into how the second campaign went, I want to go over when you guys should do a follow-up. So it's very simple. There's really only 2 requirements. So I would say if you guys like the subdivision, you like its restrictions for whatever reason, you like just the environment or the location, I would say, it qualifies to do a follow-up. And for the second one, this only really applies if you, bought in the subdivision before. But it's really just if you sold the properties that you've bought in and you like the results from it. Obviously, that's going to just qualify the subdivision even more for a follow-up. But yeah, those are really the only 2 things. I like to generally wait maybe a month and a half to 2 months before I do another mail campaign. Now, if it's texting, I generally like to text pretty frequently and leave voicemails. I would say, we have a certain drip system, so generally you don't want to go more than a couple days in between, because texting is just different than mailing. Mailing's so expensive, you can't be mailing every day. So I would just stick to, general rule of thumb for mail is at least 1 month, maybe 2. Kind of depends on your budget. Now, if you are cold calling, I would say probably same rule of thumb for mail. And this is mainly because when you speak to someone over the phone, if they're going to be, interested in selling maybe in a couple months from now, based on your notes or your conversation. You really just kind of have to, just make an educated decision there. When you're mailing, most of the people never even reach back to you. So it's important to just keep following up, because you never know the situation like you do if you had spoken with them on the phone. So with that out of the way, let's go on to the second campaign. So the follow-up criteria was met, so we decided to do a follow-up campaign. So this was about 2 months after the original mail campaign that we did after we had sold the properties. And the way follow-ups work is you generally expect a smaller reply rate, or like diminishing returns in a sense. And so essentially what I mean by diminishing returns is you're going to expect a lower reply rate or deal rate generally, because in your first mail campaign you already, maybe you got a deal, or maybe you already got all of the leads that were willing to sell at that time. So 2 months from now generally does not create more or a lot more leads that are going to be willing to sell. So really at that point it's almost like getting lucky, but when you keep mailing these people, eventually you are going to get lucky, right? And when you keep following up, it makes you more human. So you really just have to keep trying, but expect diminishing returns. That's what I always like to do. But this time it was much worse than getting just diminishing returns. We actually only got 2 people that even responded to us, and both of them said that they didn't even want to sell. So yeah, it's way worse than just getting diminishing returns. We pretty much just got nothing out of the campaign. It was pretty much a waste of time. And at that point, we debated doing another follow-up campaign because we just assumed all of the sellers were gone, because we didn't even get anyone in the second campaign that even wanted to sell. We didn't even send out any offers. So we had thought about maybe just waiting a year to follow up again, because that would, be enough time to create a lot more selling interest. But despite that thought, we decided to try one more time just 2 months after that, because we really loved the subdivision, we loved the area, we loved everything about it. We made so much money our first campaign. So we decided to try one more time, although we weren't really too hopeful, to be honest. This is essentially the breakthrough and our third campaign so far. This is our most recent campaign to date. It was pretty recent. It was probably about a month ago. So the third campaign was completely different than the second, to say the least. Out of the blue, we had a lot of people calling us back, and we actually ended up getting 3, different owners under contract, right? And so this adds up to 4 different properties. One of the owners had 2 lots that were going to be selling individually to make the most money. So 4 unique properties with 3 owners. And so these aren't really tiny spreads either. Once we sell all of them, we're looking to make about $35,000 in profit. And really our original investment is only going to be like $15K. So we're spending about $15K total. We're looking to get about 45 once everything sells. And the crazy part is, like I had said earlier, generally you expect diminishing returns. I'm not really sure why these people didn't end up reaching out to me the second time, because like I said, they ended up all wanting to sell the third time around. But sometimes you just get lucky, and that's kind of the importance of following up. You never know what changes in someone's life in just a couple months that make them want to sell. But in this case, we essentially hit the jackpot on this third campaign, and it completely flipped the script on what we are used to. So now this brings us to our bigger lesson of the video, which is following up. So first, and I touched on this already, but timing is everything. You never know what will happen in someone's life in just a couple months that would make them want to sell. Maybe someone just keeps getting thrown a ton of letters and they're getting sick of it. They're super old. They're never going to do anything with the property. So they finally decide to sell. Or maybe they just keep getting your following up letters. And so they actually like you because you're very dedicated in what you were doing. And second, your competition is probably not following up. Now, especially most investors that don't get any responses will never send a follow-up there again, because they assume that all of the sellers are gone, or maybe they got beat to the chase. The thing is, you are going to stand out from everyone else, especially if you keep sending personalized letters. These sellers will remember who you are, and they are going to like you more because of that. Third, don't assume that just 1, 2, 3 rounds is enough for you to stop mailing. I like to keep mailing very consistently if I like the subdivision, if I keep seeing results, pretty much until people tell me no. Like if I don't get a response, I'm going to keep sending out mail every couple months, because these people haven't told me no yet. If they tell me no, I'll go on my spreadsheet, I'll cross their name out, but until that happens, I'm going to keep sending mail. And this specific campaign taught us more about consistency than any other campaign that we've done. We've never had a campaign like this where our third follow-up round generates more results than our first or even our second. Now, like I said before, out of these 200 mailers originally sent to all the landowners, we had gotten 2 deals, which is already a really good conversion rate. And then we went to 0, and then we went to 3, which is even a crazier conversion rate, which is going to make us about $35,000 once everything sells, all because we didn't quit after we got a flop round. So guys, whether you are doing mailing, texting, cold calling, whatever marketing channel you like to specialize in, remember, the money is always made in the following up process. It's not always the first campaign that's going to strike you the biggest win. Really, you just need to have some patience. So if you guys like the video. If you guys have any comments or questions, make sure you comment them down below, or you can reach out to us on social media. We answer all of our DMs, and subscribe. I hope you guys have a nice rest of your day, and peace out.